Okay, so a lot of people think that I'm a nerd, and I am, but I was not always a nerd. I actually became one in seventh grade, and the boys would tease me. They would call me teacher's pet, which didn't make any sense because I wasn't a good student. And I decided if I had this reputation, I might as well live up to it. And I just started trying harder, and I started being good in school after that. Education is an area where we have a lot of state policies that dictate what happens in Detroit and Hamtramck that are not necessarily appropriate for these areas, but they are blanketed across the whole state. We have to continue to invest in our public schools, the infrastructure, the education, the resources, so that we don't create an inevitability where kids leave and they go into charters. For-profit charter schools should not be receiving public dollars. We don't need a landlord collecting money between the public dollars and the education of our children. That money is for the kids, for the teachers, for the resources, for the schools. We have a state law that says if a school is not performing, it has to be closed. What that school needs is more support, not to be forced to shut. That's a state policy I'd love to change. I had a great public school education. In high school, I had good English classes, I had good physics classes, I had all these different great classes that were provided to me. Actually, when I went to college and I studied engineering, I felt like I didn't learn nearly as much as I did in high school. Whenever we go back to school, we have to have a plan for how to do it safely. I don't think that kids should be forced back to school before they're ready, before the teachers in the schools are ready. And if we don't have a plan to do it safely, then we shouldn't be forcing it. It's not just about the safety of the kids, it's also about the safety of the educators and the other staff in those buildings that may be at high risk. Whether we have a date or a deadline, at some point we're going to have to implement those. I want to be part of that process. I will be a representative that puts the children first, that puts the education first, that makes sure that our policies at a state level actually work for our communities here in Detroit and Hamtramck. I'm Michele Oberholzer, and I'm running for state representative in District 4.